Welcome, everyone, to Intensity Broadcasting for coverage of the Alabama 125. Tonight it's going to be 50 laps at Talladega Superspeedway in the Camping World Trucks. I'm going to be your announcer for the night, Atman Weiss, and I'm excited to call all the racing action here tonight, again at Talladega Superspeedway. This race is not a league race for the SCSRA, but it's going to be a fun money race for some of these drivers in the league. Right now in practice, we see Michael Lawrence is on the top of the board with a 51.18. A thousandth behind him is Will Witt with a 100th off of him is a 51.19 for Will Witt. Third is Eddie Morse. Fourth on the board is Dave Wright, and then rounding out your top five currently, it's Stephen Black. We currently are watching some drivers draft with each other. We see Brian Nudie, Cody Moore, Michael Lawrence, Stephen Black, all there working together, practicing for this race. Once again, this is a fun race. No points are on the line, but there is money on the line for these drivers. And once I get the prize pools, I will let you know. There we see another group of drivers running in the pack right now. We see Colin Williams is there, Michael Provolt. There we see Todd Mays, all working together right now. See Cassie Williams says, "Let's go, Colin." We see Colin right now sitting 12th on the board here in practice with a 52.59 as his fastest lap time. He is about a 10th off of your first place driver, Michael Lawrence, but I believe Michael Lawrence got that lap time in a big pack of trucks. So I think once Colin maybe gets into a pack, he'll be able to perform a little bit better. You see Colin currently in the draft with Todd Mays, and we see the 35 Will Witt is there as well. Actually, that last time by, Colin Williams ran his fastest lap time of the race.
The track temperature is falling. It's now 107 Fahrenheit.
Sorry about that. I had my crew chief on still after racing today. We got 1 minute left here in practice. Drivers getting their final laps turned here. Just trying to get acclimated with the track here. We believe the last super speedway race that we had in one of the SCSRA series is we saw Joe Wright got the win. He's not in the field tonight, and then Logan Hagerman got the other win in the Xfinity series at Daytona. Last week we had another fun race where we saw Brian Nudie get the win. It was Next Gen Cars at Michigan. So both tracks very similar, super speedway like racing. So we'll see if Nudie can maybe get 2 in a row in these fun races. There we go. Practice is wrapping up. We are now getting set for qualifying here for the Alabama 125. All right, here we go. Got drivers getting on track, getting ready to start their lap time. There's Michael Provolt getting ready to exit the pits there. He resets once again. We see Michael Lawrence exiting the pits. He is running a special paint scheme, a auto service center. One of their workers passed away, Kevin Rodriguez. It's Buddy's Auto Service Center. So Tennessee Broadcasting sends their prayers out to the Rodriguez family. Here's another look at the paint scheme. Yep, Buddy's Auto Center Inc. Kevin Rodriguez is the owner. He passed away, so rest in peace, Kevin Rodriguez. We see right now Cody Moore on track. He's running all the way up against the wall, just trying to build up his speed for his first lap. Definitely a good strategy. And we actually have league owner Brian Nudie in the booth. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with the payouts. So I have just talked with league owner Brian Nudie, and we do have the payouts for tonight's event. First place driver will get $25. Second place will get $15. Third place will get $10. And whoever is the leader at lap 17 will get $15. Those are the payouts for tonight's again. Once again, $25 for first. Pretty good payout for a Wednesday night. We see Michael Lawrence to the top of the board with a 56.40. Then we see Josh Hall to the top of the board with a 56.07. After that, we see Dave Wright tops that with a 55.98. He's the first driver to break into the 55s. We see James Kunkel in second with a 55.99. He's only a hundredth off of Dave. And then we still see Josh Hall sitting in that third place spot. We know Dave Wright, very, very good at these super speedways. Let's see if he can build off this momentum from looking like he's going to be starting on the pole and maybe get the win here in the Alabama 125 and get that $25. See Michael Lawrence, I believe, on his second lap right now. See how well he can do. We see Kyle Mays on his second lap to the top of the board with a 55.97. He's now 100th faster in second place. Dave Wright, so now it's going to put Dave Wright in second. Cody Moore in third with a 55.98. Right now we see top five all separated by less than a tenth. This is going to be some close racing here tonight. See Brian Nudie to second with the 55.97. It's going to come down to the thousandths of a second to determine who will be starting on the pole. And then look at this, Colin Willems to the top of the board with a 55.96. So he's now 1/10 faster than, 100th faster than Kyle Mays. Todd Mays is third with a 55.97. He's only 100th off of Colin Willems. If you look, the top 8 is all separated by less than a tenth. That's incredible. That just shows how close a racing it's going to be here tonight. See Brian Merle Jr., I believe, on his second lap. Let's see how he can do. We know Brian Merle Jr. won the SCSA All-Star race a little while back in September of 2021. And that was at Next Gens at Michigan. So those trucks at Talladega, Next Gens at Michigan, two very, very similar car track combos. Let's see if he can maybe use what he learned from the SSRA All-Star win. Maybe take the win here tonight. And here we go. Qualifying has completed. We are getting set now for the 50-lap event. Let's take a look at your starting lineup. Starting on the pole with a 55.964, representing YXU Racing in that 17 machine, it's Colin Willems. Outside of him, it's the 55 of Kyle Mays. Third is Mays Mafia's number 25, Todd Mays. Fourth is Brian Nudie, and then rounding out your top 5, we have Intensity Broadcasting Zone, Dave Wright. In 6th place, representing Intensity Racing Team, we have Eddie Morris in the 8 car. 7th in the 52, it's Cody Moore. 8th, we have the 48 of James Kunkel. 9th will be the 35 of Will Witt. And then rounding out your top 10, it's Intensity Broadcasting Zone, Josh Hall. In 11th, we have the 573 of Michael Lawrence. 12th is Neon Racing's Brian Merle Jr. In 13th, we have Stephen Black in that 98 machine. 14th is Michael Provolt with 2 pedals, 1 clutch. He's in that 15 car. And then rounding out your top 15, last but not least, we have Brandon White. See, Mick Olofsson on Twitch says Colin in that Falcon Graphics car. That's right. There we see the Falcon Graphics machine on that number 17. That is definitely a fly car. Definitely want to give a shout out to Falcon Graphics. Definitely one of the best places to get a paint scheme on the iRacing platform. I've seen a lot of their works, whether it was in the Dirt Car series or in the Extreme Forces Racing League or here with Kyle Williams' paint scheme. They do awesome work, so if you're looking for a good iRacing paint scheme, then make sure to check them out. We see Dean Qualley says that paint scheme is a beauty of Colin. Yep, we were just talking about how awesome that paint scheme is looking. Love the green and black. I'm not too much of a green fan, but when it's paired with black, it's like, it makes for an awesome car. Hey, Dean, how you doing tonight? Thanks for tuning in to watch the broadcast, man. We got a good money race for you tonight. Trucks at Talladega for the Alabama 125. Prize pools for tonight's event, $25 for the winner, $15 for second, $10 for third, and $15 will go to the leader at lap 17. So I'd say pretty good payday for a Wednesday night. Once again, Kyle Williams starting on the bottom, Kyle Mays starting on the top. Behind them, it's going to be Todd Mays and Brian Nudie. We might see WaxU teammates, Colin Williams, Brian Nudie, try to get to each other, and then you might see the Mays Mafia teammates of Kyle Mays and Todd Mays try to get to each other on the track. We'll see what all happens here on this start. Looks like we have 16 cars in the field tonight. Looks like we forgot to mention Nick Ford is also going to be racing tonight. He joined the session just in time to get to the grid. And looks like Isaac Gill may be racing as well if he can get into the pits and load into the session. So here we go, getting ready, coming to the green. Again, Kyle Mays starting on the top, Colin Williams starting on the bottom. This should be a fun race here tonight. And once again, money on the line. See, pace car is in. Here we go. We're going to go through this long front stretch here at Talladega. We know it can make for some awesome racing, especially in the later portions of the race. And there we go. Green flag is out there. We see Colin Williams taking off. We see Williams has the nose as we cross the line over Kyle Mays. But we see Kyle Mays getting that good push from Brian Nudie. He is holding his own on that outside, but Kyle Williams is able to get clear. We see Todd Mays definitely giving that 17 a good push on the bottom. It looks like Todd Mays is taking his talents up to the high side. He is now ahead of Kyle Mays. The two are now pushing each other. We see Cody Moore trying to take it to the high side. And we are 3 wide already on lap number 1 between Dave Wright, Cody Moore, and Kyle Mays. These drivers need to watch out. We see, I know Colin Williams is loving this because since they're 3 wide, it's going to slow the top 2 lines down. See, Colin Williams is able to get clear. Can Cody Moore? Looks like Cody Moore's getting a good push from Josh Hall in that middle line. And then up top, we got the Mays Mafia hooked up. Todd and Kyle running up there all the way up against the wall. We see Colin Williams pretty much clear right now over Cody Moore, but Cody Moore and Josh Hall starting to catch up. side by side. We're 3 wide for the lead on lap number 2. This is crazy. And there we see Cody Moore going down to the bottom. He is now clear of Colin Williams, and he is taking the lead. And he is also clear of Todd Mays. There we see Colin Williams going up to that middle line. He's getting a push from Josh Hall now. Smart move for Colin Williams. He's getting a good run. And looks like now Colin Williams with the nose as we cross the line, getting a great push from Josh Hall, and he is able to go down to the bottom and into the lead. So now we see Josh Hall, the leader of that middle line, and then we see still Todd Mays running up there on that way high side. Brandon White just ran the fastest lap time of the race with a 51.80. He is currently running that 12th spot. Let's see if he can use that momentum to catch up to the rest of the field. Looks like we see Brian Merle Jr. looking to try to make it 3 wide. He goes up there to that third lane above Brian Nudie and Will Witt. But looks like Colin Williams is just running away with it right now, getting a good push from Cody Moore. But I would not count out that high side. Looks like Josh Hall and Brian Nudie getting a good run. They've gotten up to Colin Williams now. Side by side for that lead. Here comes Josh Hall. We know Josh Hall very experienced in these super speedway races. Can he get up to the lead? They're still side by side for that first place spot. And we see Colin Williams is able to get clear of Josh Hall once again. Looks like the high side seems a little bit disorganized right now. We see some drivers breaking off. Todd Mays, Kyle Mays heading up to that third lane once again. They've been hanging out up there for a lot of this race. Looks like they have Brandon White up there with them. Michael Provolt just ran his fastest lap time of the race, or the fastest lap of the entire race, with the 51.55. Must have caught the draft, as he's about 0.3 faster than the rest of the field. Well, everybody's in the draft, but must have gotten a big run. Once again, we see Josh Hall getting a good run on that outside. Side by side with Colin Williams. But Colin Williams getting a good push from Cody Moore. He is able to get back clear. We're really seeing YXU Racing teammates work together right now between Cody Moore and Colin Williams. Oh, and we see a wreck. Caution flag is out, and that is going to bring out now your Marco's Pizza Wreckage Rewind. If you're ever considering having a pizza night, definitely get some Marco's Pizza. Make sure to visit their website, marcospizza.com. All right, here's a look at what happened. We see we were 3 wide, had Eddie Moore's in the middle, Todd Mays above him, then was Will Witt down below him. And then we see a little checkup. Dave Wright gets into Cody Moore a little bit, and then Kunkel, or it looks like we saw Will Witt slope a little bit. James Kunkel had nowhere to go, and then we see Will Witt getting down onto the apron now. That actually did not look to be the incident. Hold on, I'm going to continue fast forwarding a little bit. There we go. All right, looks like I found the incident. I'm going to go up here to Eddie Morse. Looks like he was involved in this one. So looks like Eddie Moore is staying kind of on that first seam. And then he comes up a little bit. He didn't make full contact with Todd Mays. We saw a little bit of net code there, but that's going to send the 25 around. And then looks like Kyle Mays is collected. Ooh, Brian Merle Jr. has nowhere to go. That is unfortunate. But if you look once again, if you look, well, that was not a good view. But still, if you looked at it, it was definitely some net code there. So it looks like we have a lot of the field in the pits right now. See Kyle Williams, first driver off of pit road. Then it's Cody Moore. Then it's Josh Hall. Then it's Dave Wright. And then we see Brian Nudie gets off pit road. But in an interesting move, we see James Kunkel stays out. So we'll see if this strategy ends up paying off for that number 48. Isaiah Gill going to get one of his laps back. He showed up a little bit late, so he ended up missing the start. But we know that tires isn't going to really mean too much. The main thing these drivers are going to be looking out for is fuel. I do not know how long these drivers can run on a single tank. But we see a lot of these drivers coming and topping off on fuel. A few drivers getting their damage fixed. We know Eddie Morris. See Eddie Morris, Todd Mays, Brian Merle Jr., and all of them getting involved in that most recent incident. We see Belinda Ward says, "Go Humboldt, boys." Here's a look at your current top 10 at the moment. We see James Kunkel in first. Colin Williams in second. Third, we have Cody Moore. Fourth is Josh Hall. Fifth is Dave Wright. Running in that sixth place spot, got Brian Nudie. Seventh is Stephen Black. Eighth, we have Michael Provolt. Ninth is Will Witt, and then rounding out your top five, we have Michael Lawrence. Right now, we see that Skittles, number 48 machine, keep the lead after a little bit of a gamble by staying out when the rest of the field pretty much came in. We'll see if this strategy pays off for that number 48 machine. Will it backfire? So lights are off on the pace car. We are getting ready to go back green. James Kunkel will be restarting on the bottom. Colin Williams restarting on the top. Behind them, it's Cody Moore and Josh Hall. One thing I might be watching out for is watch that number 52 of Cody Moore. We'll see if he might try to take it up to the high side to get grouped up with that number 17 machine, his YXU teammate of Colin Williams. We know the key here at these plate tracks is going to be just finding a group of drivers that you work together well with and just kind of stick with them through the whole race, make moves together. It's always good at these plate tracks to definitely have a good group of teammates to run with. So now we're going to see a lot of the Intensity Racing Team drivers, Eddie Morris, Josh Hall, Dave Wright, try to group up. We might see some of the YXU racing drivers try to group up. And then some of the other drivers will just kind of find each other on the track as well. But definitely one of the keys to having success here at these plate tracks is just finding a good group of drivers to draft with and just try to work your way up to the field with them. We see Siri Reed says, "Woot, come on team, bring home the W." see Siri Reed with the 200 stars donation. That's greatly appreciated. We appreciate that. Hopefully you're enjoying the broadcast so far. We are getting ready to go back green here. Pace car is in on the front stretch. Green flag is back out, and there we see James Kunkel and Colin Williams taking off. We see Colin Williams with a great restart. He's getting a good push from Josh Hall there on that high side. See Colin Williams with the... Yeah, he's with the nose. He's clear now. He should be able to make it down to the bottom. But he is staying there up on the high side with Josh Hall. And there we see both of them go down to the bottom now. We see Brian Nudi is able to get down there as well. So we see Cody Moore is currently the leader of the high side. He has Dave right behind him. And then we see Michael Provel up there as well. We see another driver venturing up there to the high side. That's Stephen Black. Let's see if they can get a good run on Colin Williams. And they are. Cody Moore, Dave Wright, able to get up there now to Colin Williams. Cody Moore has the nose. They're getting a good run. So Reed says, I preferred to be racing, but I can root for the team also. Yep, man. Again, we appreciate you tuning to watch the broadcast, and hopefully your team is doing good here tonight in the Alabama 125. Yeah, man, we got to get you in some of these races. That'd be awesome. He says, go Provolt. Right now we see Michael Provolt running in that 9th place spot, running all the way up against the wall with, we see Will Witt, Stephen Black, Colin Williams. See if he can get up there. Make some moves. Looks like Cody Moore was able to get clear and take the lead, and he is now ahead of Josh Hall. Him and Josh Hall are pushing each other now. So right now the leader of the middle is Will Witt, and then up on that high side it's Colin Williams. Brandon White just ran the fastest lap time of the race with a 51.50. Let's see if he can use that speed to try to get up there to the lead. We see Will Witt getting a good run on that middle line. He's getting a good push from Kyle Mays. And he is able to get down to the bottom and take the lead now. Will Witt, your new leader. Remember, 5 laps from now, it's going to be lap number 17, and whoever is the leader at lap number 17 will take $15. So these drivers are going to have to maybe looking to try to make their way up to the field and get up there to that first place spot by lap number 17. See right now the leader of that high side is Kyle Mace. He's getting a good push from Dave Wright. And I thought Josh Hall was maybe going to try to take a look there to the high side, but he can't quite do that. Well, hopefully you can get in the league soon against Siri. And let's see. Right now, Brandon White, he's up to that 10th place spot, running on the bottom. He's currently drafting with Michael Lawrence. But once again, thank you for tuning in to watch the broadcast, Siri. Thanks for the 200-star donation. That's greatly appreciated, man. We see right now Will Witt has a big lead over the rest of the field. We see Josh Hall goes up to the high side now to be drafting with Kyle Mace. We see Cody Moore heads up there as well. And we see Dave Wright, Colin Williams up there running against the wall. Looks like Cody Moore getting a great run on that outside. He's able to get side by side with Will Witt for that lead. Remember, once again, these drivers are battling to try to be the leader at lap number 17 to get that $15. Todd Mays with the fastest lap coming to the race with a 51.24. Todd currently is the leader of, we see a little bit of contact in the wall, and we see a big wreck. On the backstretch, caution flag is out. We are going to now take a look here at the Wreckage Rewind presented by Marco's Pizza. Let's again make sure to check out their website at marcospizza.com. All right, here is a look at what happened. So looks like we saw James Kunkel hit the wall. Cody Moore comes down, head of Josh Hall to avoid hitting it. And after he hits the wall, you kind of stick to it. And so the drivers who were behind him, Dave Wright, Colin Williams, they have nowhere to go. See, Dave Wright comes down into Todd Mays, and this is just going to create this big old domino effect. See Stephen Black getting involved. A few others as well. Man, that is unfortunate. A lot of fast drivers involved in that one. They're just going to have to come in, get that damage fixed, and get back out there. And once again, before we hit lap 17, which is going to be coming up here, I do want to give a big shout out to Colin Williams for putting up the money for the prize for $15 to leader at lap 17. It's greatly appreciated, and I know whoever's going to lead this lap here at lap number 17 is going to appreciate it. So looks like Will Witt is your current leader as we were going to hit lap number 17. The rest of the field comes in, but he is going to stay out. And if that's the case, there we go. We see Will Witt is going to get that $15 after leading at lap number 17. Once again, shout out to Colin Williams for putting that prize money up. See, Brian Nudie wins the race off pit road. Then it's Josh Hall. Then it's Michael Lawrence. Then it's Cody Moore. And then it's going to be James Kunkel. My question is, I know Will Witt stayed out to try to get that $17, but although he got that he stayed out to get that $15, but although he did that, will it pay off? Because the rest of the field came in, they got fresh fuel now, and Will Witt doesn't. So we'll see what happens. See, Blake Kinsley says, let's go Stephen Black. We see Stephen Black still in the pits. He got involved in that most recent incident, but it looks like he's got most of the damage fixed as he's exiting the pits now. Brandon White says, Siri Reed cruising right now. See, right now, Brandon White in that 9th place spot, trying to get up there to the top 5. Let's see if he can do it on this next restart. And let's maybe do an in-race interview. Let's see if we can pull in your 3rd place driver, Josh Hall. Josh, this is Atlee in the Intensity Broadcasting booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, it's loud and clear.
Awesome. We thought we'd do a little in-race interview with one of our drivers, and we see right now you're sitting in that 3rd place spot. You've had a really, really good race. You've been pushing some drivers up to the front. You've gotten up to the front, and right now you're sitting in that 3rd place spot here for the next restart. I mean, what's your take on this race so far?
It's been a lot of aggressive driving so far. A lot of fun, though. I'm having a blast out here. A lot of respect, even though it's been kind of wild. It's just a matter of trying to survive right now. You know, there's a lot of attrition towards the back, so I think staying up front is going to be the key here.
Now what's going to be your plan to try to get the win here tonight?
Stay out of trouble, hopefully be there at the end. That's half the battle here at a plate track like this. But I think this might come down to a bit of fuel mileage too, so we'll see how this goes towards the end. It's going to be a couple different strategies, I think, towards the end.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of drivers coming in, topping off on fuel. How's your fuel looking right now?
Right now I'm a little bit short. I might be able to save a little bit here if I back off and not really race, but we'll see how the race goes, and we'll kind of play it by ear.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you for the interview, Josh, and good luck on the rest of the race.
Thank you, man, and we'll talk to you after.
All right, let's hope so. Looks like we've actually seen a little update to the payouts from Brian Newty. It's actually going to be a little bit more than expected. I do want to give everybody an update on the payouts. They have changed. It's now going to be $35 for first, $20 for second, and $10 still for third. So that's going to give these drivers a little bit even more drive to try to get to the front. Because once again, $35 to win tonight's event. That's coming from $25 earlier. So, once again, $35 on a Wednesday night. That's a pretty good payout. So we're getting ready to go back green. Will Witt restarting on the bottom. Brian Newty restarting on the top. Behind them, it's going to be Josh Hall and Michael Lawrence. So let's see how this one goes. And then behind them, it's going to be James Kunkel, and there we see Todd Mays. There we go. We see pace cars in. All right, we are getting ready to go back green here. All right, green flag is back out. There we see Will Witt taking off. He is able to get clear of Brian Newty. I think this is going to take a little bit for the field to get caught back up to Will Witt here. So we see Brian Newty still running on that high side. Looks like Michael Lawrence is looking to try to catch up to Newty. Brian Newty's going to take it now to the bottom, so Michael Lawrence is now the new leader of that high side. He has Todd Mace behind him. But right now it looks like Will Witt is sitting comfortably in that lead. Michael Provolt taking a look to that high side, giving it a little bit more momentum maybe. And right now, just Will Witt running away. Him and Josh Hall doing a good job working together. There we see James Kunkel taking a look to the high side. That should maybe give the high side a little bit of momentum to get back up there to Will Witt. Oh, and we see James Kunkel is around. But, oh my gosh, what are the chances of that? So it looks like James Kunkel got some contact from the back. He turned, and he ended up getting spun. There was a gap in the bottom lane. He ended up fitting through it, and no other cars got involved. Let me just rewind that for just a second. The chances of that is, wow. All right, watch this right here. This looks like there was some contact between Lawrence and Kunkel. And that's going to send Kunkel around. But right before he hits Nicholas, there was still a little bit of damage. But he was still able to slide through just in time to make it so that it wasn't a big wreck. That is crazy. We take a look back to your leaders now. Still, Will Witt is your leader, and the high side is kind of non-existent right now. You see, majority of the field is single file, and I think a lot of these drivers are just kind of just hanging out, just trying to avoid getting in any more wrecks, getting their cars tore up anymore, and just maybe just trying to save fuel a little bit, because like Josh Hall mentioned in our interview with him, said that he wasn't going to be able to make it on fuel. So if we have a green flag run all the way, these drivers are going to either have to make a green flag pit stop or drop back and start saving. We do see, look at this, who is that? That's Nicholas Ford and See Steven Black taking a look up to the high side now. Let's see if they'll make it work up there. And we are 3 wide now. We see, wow, in a risky move, we see Nick Ford is able to get clear now of Steven Black, and he tried to pass him, and he did. See, Kyle Mays ran the fastest lap time of the race with a 51.19, currently running on the bottom behind Isaiah Gill. Let's see if he can continue just to get that momentum and get back up there to the front. Kyle Mays was leading a little bit of this race earlier on, but he got involved in a wreck, fell to the back, and he's just trying to work his way back up there to where he was. We see Steven Black, Brandon White on that high side now, trying to make it work up there. See a few other drivers going up there to join them. And they're actually getting a good run. We actually see Brian Newty goes up there to join Steven Black. And there we go. They're getting a great run off of turn number 4. Here they come on that outside. Looks like Brian Newty is able to get clear of Will Witt. And he is able to get down. Good teamwork there by 2 of the SCSRA League admins. We see Brian Newty getting on down onto the apron a little bit. He's able to save it, and he comes back still in the lead. So you see Steven Black still the leader of that high side. He's got Brandon White behind him. And then after that, it's Kyle Mays up there. And they're actually getting a big run on Brian Newty right now. And oh, we see a spin. Leaders wrecking. Caution flag is out. Oh no. Many big names getting involved in that incident. Uh-oh. Is the one word that I have to describe that. It's now time for the Marco's Pizza Wreckage Rewind. I'm still digesting that right now. Man. Here's a look at what happened. We see Steven Black running on that high side. And looks like a little bit of bump drafting gone wrong from Brandon White. That's going to send him around into Newty. See Will Witt is involved. See Kyle Mays getting involved. Luckily, we see Josh Hall, Dave Wright, Eddie Morris turning left and praying. They're able to get through it, looks like. And oh, we see Brandon White getting some airtime. Gosh. That is unfortunate. A lot of big names getting involved in that wreck. We see Kyle Mays is manually disconnected. Steven Black with a ton of damage. He's in the pits right now. But it looks like despite getting a little bit of damage, we see Will Witt is now your leader. Josh Hall second, Dave Wright third, Eddie Morris fourth, Todd Mays fifth. But we see majority of the field coming in right now. And oh, in a little fake out, we see Josh Hall, Dave Wright, and Eddie Morris all staying out. Cody Moore stays out as well. We might see a little bit of planning going on from the Intensity Racing team. They might not have something that we don't, but the rest of the field comes in. And we'll watch this race here on pit road. Whoever exits off of pit road first will be in fifth. And we see Todd Mays is the first driver off of pit road. Looks like Colin Willems now has manually disconnected. Man, we're seeing a lot of drivers dropping out after that wreck. That's unfortunate. Once again, a lot of big names getting involved in that one. Brian Newty, Steven Black, Kyle Mays, Colin Willems. Definitely unfortunate. We still see right now Josh Hall is your leader. Dave Wright second. Eddie Moore's third Intensity Racing Team 1, 2, 3. They're definitely discussing some strategy right now. Let's see what they try to do here. We're actually hitting 25 laps to go right now. And currently, once again, current payouts are this. $35 to first, $20 to second, and $10 for third. Stephen Black says, sad times. Looks like Stephen Black has mainly disconnected. Yeah, that wreck was definitely unfortunate. Once again, a lot of big names. I think Josh Hall, Dave Wright, and Eddie Morris were all able to make it through damage. Oh, nope. No, Eddie didn't. But I think Josh Hall, Dave Wright, and maybe Cody Moore were all able to make it damage-free. The rest of the field, I think everybody might have gotten maybe just a little bit of a scratch at the least. I think that might be the big one for tonight's event. You never know, though. But I'm pretty sure that is, because, woo, a lot of big names getting involved in that one. But we're getting ready to go back green here. We have Josh Hall restarting on the bottom, Dave Wright restarting on the top. Behind them, it's Eddie Morris and Cody Moore. I think we're going to see the Intensity Racing Team drivers run away from the rest of the field, because all three of these drivers, Josh Hall, Dave Wright, Eddie Morris, are experienced super speedway drivers, good at these plate tracks. I think they're going to be able to get ahead of the rest of the field. These drivers fighting for $35. That is what the winner will get here tonight. Question is, who will that be? We still have 13 cars on the lead lap, all of them with a chance to win. Anything can happen at these super speedways. So here we go, waiting for that pace car to pull in. See what happens here. Pace car's in. Green flag is back out there. We see Josh Hall taking off. And then we see Dave Wright also getting a good restart on that high side. Looks like Dave Wright coming down to the bottom, so all three Intensity Racing Team drivers are grouped up now. We see Cody Moore, Will Witt on that high side, but we see Will Witt taking a look down low under Cody Moore. He will be the new leader of that high side. We see Isaiah Gill up there as well. Looks like we see a car spinning and into the inside wall. That's Brian Merle Jr., but it looks like there was only a one-car incident. So we are going to continue green flag racing. We see, looks like Todd Mays taking it up to the high side now. He's got James Kunkel, Will Witt behind him. And I think now is going to be the perfect opportunity. We're going to turn up the volume and you'll get to hear the sounds and sights of the racetrack here with Pump Up the Intensity. Here we go. We are back here with the green flag action at Talladega Superspeedway for the Alabama 125. Looks like we had a little incident up front. Josh Hall is no longer your leader. We have James Kunkel as the new leader on the bottom, and then in the middle it's Todd Mays, and then all the way up there on the high side it's Brandon White. We see right now Kunkel with the nose, but Brandon White getting a good run on that outside. He's got a push from Josh Hall. Oh, looks like Michael Provolt tags the wall. That might slow down the high side a little bit. But they're still coming. Oh, looks like Josh Hall tags the wall a little bit. We see Eddie Morris, Dave Wright going down to avoid him. We see Will Witt. That's also, let's see, Will Witt, Michael Lawrence, Todd Mays. Oh, and they get a good enough run. Will Witt, Michael Lawrence, and Todd Mays are all able to get down to the bottom now. And looks like Will Witt is your new leader. So Eddie Morris is now the leader of that high side, but we see Todd Mays head back up there. It's too late as it's now 3 wide. Josh Hall is going up there. He's going to stay behind with Todd Mays. I thought he was going to go up there to Eddie and Brandon White. We are side by side now for the lead. We see a good run in the middle for Josh Hall and Todd Mays. And there we go. We see Todd Mays is able to get clear and up to the lead now. So Josh Hall is now the new leader of that middle lane. And he's got Dave Wright coming up to him to push him in the draft. We see also Will Witt, Michael Lawrence going up there to the high side. And they were able to get a good enough run to get back clear of Todd Mays. Both Will Witt and Michael Lawrence, and looks like Josh Hall will all be able to go down now. There we go. We see Josh Hall taking a look down low under Michael Lawrence. He's going to force Lawrence back up to the high side. And then watch out for that third lane. Eddie Morris, Brandon White, Michael Provolt up there. We see Todd Mays taking a look up there to the high side now. Dropping out of that bottom pack. See if that'll give him a good run. We see currently James Kunkel running in the middle right now. Looks like Josh Hall is able to take it to the high side now, and he's going to catch the draft from Kunkel and Todd Mays, but they're actually going to go above Josh Hall. We're 3 wide for the lead now. And looks like Kunkel is almost clear now of Will Witt. He still has Todd Mays behind him. Looks like they've fallen behind up there on that high side. So now new leader of the high side is Josh Hall. He's got Eddie Morris behind him. Can these Intensity Racing Team drivers get up there to the front? I know they're probably talking it over. What's the plan in the voice channel? Still seeing a good run on the bottom for Will Witten. Will's getting a good push from Isaiah Gill. What's Josh Hall going to try to do here? Continuing to get a good push from Eddie Morris. He's almost up there to Will Witt. Here's a look at the onboard view from Josh Hall's perspective. Looks like your leaders are actually coming up on some lap traffic right now. Looks like they're a little bit off pace. Josh Hall getting a good run and a good push from Eddie Morris. Yeah, since Brian Earl Jr. was a little bit off pace, he goes down to the bottom. Lets them my respectful thing to do. We see the contact on the outside. And we are wrecking. But I don't know if this is going to bring out a caution or not. We see Nicholas Ford also getting lapped. He's going to keep it on the bottom since he is off pace. These drivers need to remember to keep their pace on the track. See Josh Hall continuing to keep it up there on that high side, him and his Intensity Racing Team teammates. We see Dave Wright and Eddie Morse up there with him. And then on the bottom we have YXU Racing drivers Cody Moore and Will Witt grouped up with each other. So I'm pretty sure since we had that last caution, the field is going to be able to make it on fuel, but I'm not sure. Oh yeah, for sure. That high line with Josh Hall, Dave Wright, Eddie Morris, they're keeping great pace up there. Let's see if they can continue to keep that pace up there and get one of them up ahead of Will Witt for the lead. You always love to see it when drivers are bringing their best pace possible in these races. It looks like the high side falling behind a little bit. See James Kunkel able to get up to the high side. Now he's getting a good push from Josh Hall. See what they're going to do here. But we see Josh Hall takes it low under Kunkel now. And we see Eddie Morris now giving Josh Hall a push. See Josh Hall getting a good run. He's able to get equal with Will Witt. Getting a great push from Eddie Morris. They're side by side for the lead. Making a little bit of contact there. See what's going to happen here. Once again, see Josh Hall, Eddie Morris, James Kunkel grouped together. They're trying to get another good run to get Josh ahead of Will. See Josh Hall with the nose, but Eddie Morris and James Kunkel are going to take it to the high side above Josh Hall, leaving him out to dry. We see Nick Ford getting behind Josh Hall now. And there we see Dave Wright taking it up to the high side now ahead of Josh Hall. But he's going to go back down. And once again we see Eddie Morris pushing Josh Hall on that high side. We see a little bit of a hole on the bottom between Cody Moore and Dave Wright. We see Josh Hall getting another good run on that high side, getting a good push from Eddie Morris. Josh Hall almost to Will Witt now. See, they're actually coming up on Brian Nudie right now. Brian a little bit off pace after exiting the pits. Since he is off pace, then he will have to, he does a respectful thing, lets the leaders by before joining the pack. See Josh Hall getting a good run. He's pretty much equal with Will Witt. He has the nose as we cross the line. Can Josh Hall get clear of Will Witt and take the lead? He can't. Oh, we see contact. Josh Hall to the outside wall. Eddie Morris around. Caution. Flag is out. We will take a look at the Wreckage Rewind presented by Marco's Pizza to see exactly what happened. Ooh, some front runners getting involved in that one. So here's what happened. See, Josh Hall was thinking about taking it down low to get clear of Will Witt. He can't. And then, see, Josh Hall, he's holding it on the seam. It looks like Morris slides down a little bit. I think he thought he was clear of Josh Hall, and that's going to send Hall into the outside wall. See, Josh Hall getting some airtime. He's going to flip. Do a full flip before landing back on his wheels. Let's take a look at that again. This is a wild ride right here, and we're going to take a look at the cockpit in real time. Now in slow motion. Yeah, if this was real life, I would be very concerned for Josh right now. Luckily, this is iRacing, so there are no injuries. I hope he didn't have like one of those full motion rigs where you can feel everything. He would probably have bruises and bumps all over his body. Yeah, definitely loved your paint scheme, Colin. The green and black was awesome. Do see a few drivers coming in. Dave Wright, Brandon White, rest of the field staying out, though. Will Witt, Cody Moore, James Kunkel. I think we maybe will do a in-race interview. We see, oh, yep, Column says YXU Racing 1-2. YXU Racing has had an awesome race so far. Will Witt, Cody Moore have been up front all race long. Brian Nudie was running up front for a little bit until he got involved in an incident. YXU Racing has had an awesome race tonight. We see Isaiah Gill is up in fourth. He's had a good run as well after missing the start. I'm actually going to do really quickly maybe an in-race interview with Eddie Morris. Let's go ahead and talk to him. Eddie, this is Atlee in the Intensity Broadcasting booth. Do you have a copy?
Hey, man. How's it going, brother?
Doing pretty good, and looks like you've had a great race so far here tonight as well. Currently sitting in that 7th place spot. I actually know you got involved in that most recent incident. Tell us a little bit about what happened there.
I was going to say, man, you've been watching the same race as me, brother? No, I think Josh just had a run on him. And whenever that outside truck gets the advantage going into the corner or whatever, I just got a run on him, and it happened a couple corners before that, and I had to just drift up a little bit, and it just happened too quick this time, and just got a piece of him there, and it was unfortunate. Thank goodness we both had a fastie left, and we're gonna try to truck our way up through here and see how we can finish this thing, man. So hopefully it's been good, but good show for you guys, though.
Yes, it's been a wild one for sure. And I know Josh was saying that it might be a fuel mileage finish. How's fuel looking for you, Eddie?
After I went in and took that fast repair just then, it looks pretty good. Before that, though, all three of us, me, D-Wright, and Josh, we were good to go. We were good to go to the end. I don't know about everybody else, but I know the three trucks of ours, we were good to go. So
gotcha. Well,
definitely didn't want to see that, especially being involved and being up front. So.
Yeah, but you're still in the top 10, and you just let's make some smart moves, try to get back up through the front. So good luck on this next restart, Eddie. Let's see what happens here.
Alrighty, brother. I don't know if I'm going to make any smart moves, but I'll be definitely making some moves.
Yes, sir. All right. Good luck on this next restart.
Thanks, brother.
No problem. Well, there you go. That's your 9th place driver, Eddie Morris. Heard a little bit about what he has to say. All right, so let's take a look at your current top 5 heading here into this 3-lap shootout. See Will Witt in first, Cody Moore second, Isaiah Gill third, James Kunkel fourth, Brandon White fifth. Cody Moore's going to be restarting on the bottom. Will Witt restarting on the top behind them. It's James Kunkel and Isaiah Gill in fourth. So it looks like YXU Racing is 1, 2, 4. We'll see if these drivers will look to try to work with each other. You know they will. I know they're in the same voice chat, probably talking with each other on what's the plan to try to have one of them win the race. Let's see what happens here. All right. Here we go. We're going to have a 3-lap shootout, a green-white checkered, and that will determine who will win 35 Buckaroos here tonight. All right, green flag is back out. There we see Will Witt taking off. He is sticking up on that high side. Still has Isaiah Gill behind him, but there we see he's taking it down low now. He's getting a good push from Cody Moore. So now, and then we see Isaiah Gill taking it down to the bottom now. So your leader of that high side is Brandon White, but we see nobody else going up there to help him. There we go. See Todd Mays going up there to now help that number 19 machine, 019 machine. See if they can get a good run on your leader, Will Witt. Will Witt has been leading a lot of this race. Mick Olofsson says $35 for the 35 truck. Let's go, Will. Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool if the 35 could get $35, and he's definitely got a good chance, your current leader. But we're seeing a good run here on the high side from Brandon White. But looks like he's going to get hung out to dry, and Todd Mays is going to be the new leader of that middle lane. And oh, we see contact, big wreck, cars in the air. And that should, yep, that's going to bring out the yellow flag now. It's now time for the Marco's Pizza Wreckage Rewind. Let's take a look at exactly what happened there. We're still wrecking. Man. All right, so we see Isaiah Gill was running on that bottom. And looks like, see a little bump drafting gone wrong there. And I actually think here's what happened. Michael Lawrence thought he was clear of Dave Wright, so he comes down, but he actually wasn't. Slides across his nose into Gill, into Kunkel, and this is just going to create this big domino effect. Gill slides up into Brandon White. Definitely unfortunate for a lot of the front runners that got involved in that one. Brandon White, Isaiah Gill, Brian Merle Jr., Brian Nudie. But they can still just come in, take that reset, and we're going to re-rack them, restack them, and get ready for our first attempt at a green-white checkered. Will Witt is still in the lead. Todd Mays in second. See Cody Moore running in that third place spot. Oh, excuse me. There he is. Cody Moore running in that third place spot. James Kunkel in fourth. And the rounding out your top five right now, it's Dave Wright. So will we see any takers on pit road? Yeah, looks like we see a couple drivers getting ready to make their descent. Looks like Will Witt not coming down. James Kunkel will be coming down into the pits. I know he stayed out one time, but the rest of the field staying out. Like Eddie Moore said, I believe everybody's going to be able to make it on fuel. So here we go. This is it. A green-white checkered for all the marbles. $35 on the line. Once again, prize pool. $35 for first. $20 for second. $10 for third. It all comes down to this. Except for if we do see another wreck before one to go, we will see another attempt at a green-white checkered. We're actually going to take a quick break here. We will be back with the green-white checkered. Here we go. So, once again, this is going to be our second green-white checkered attempt. See one driver, Michael Provolt, getting his lap back. He's going to now be on the lead lap and back into contention for this race. The rest of the field pretty much, we're going to, right now, currently on track right now, we only see 4 drivers. And right now, we see Will Witt currently in that first place spot. Cody Moore in second. Eddie Morris in third. Josh Hall in fourth. James Kunkel in fifth. Will Witt has just been a great driver all race long. Run that 35 machine. He's been working together with his YXU teammates, Cody Moore, Brian Nudie. And that's just really helped get up to the front. And that's where, you know, it pays to have good teammates. I mean, we've seen Will Witt working together with all his YXU teammates. At these plate tracks, you know, if you can have a good group of drivers that you can work together with, you're going to be very, very successful. Yeah, sorry about the audio going out, Belinda. But we are back. All right, we are getting ready to go back green here. Will Witt restarting on the bottom. Cody Moore restarting on the top. Behind them, it's Eddie Morris, Josh Hall. And then behind them, it's going to be James Kunkel. So it looks like this is gonna, we only see 5 cars on this restart. And that's only, let's see. Looks like we also see a couple other drivers that aren't in this pack on the lead lap as well. Michael Lawrence, Todd Mace, Michael Provolt, I know they're trying to catch up to the field. Brian Nudie's there as well. It looks like we got Colin Willems in the waiting room. Hey, Colin, what's up?
What on that, man?
I'm going to call this race, this final 3 laps.
Well, I don't know. I don't think I have the power to do that. I'm not like you.
I got you. Well, what happened there to you?
You know, just restrictor plate race, and it happens. You know, something goes on up front, you can do your best to stay out of it, but, you know, you can't always be the luckiest guy. But I'm really excited to see how this race ends. Looks like it's going to be a pretty exciting finish.
Yes, sir. So we appreciate the interview, man. Have a great rest of your night.
Yeah, you too.
All right, green flag is back out there. We see Will Witt taking off. He's able to get clear of Cody Moore. See Josh Hall running on that high side. Looks like Eddie Morris goes up there with him. We are side by side for the lead. Josh Hall with maybe a little bit of a nose here on the back stretch. All right, 1 lap to go to decide this race. What's going to happen? Can Josh Hall and Eddie Morris get up there to your leader, Will Witt? We will see. All right, final lap. What's going to happen here up on that high side? All right, here we go. Josh Hall, Eddie Morris grouped up, heading onto the front stretch. Can they get up there to Will Witt? Will Witt, Cody Moore drafting with each other. A little bit of contact there for Josh Hall and Cody Moore. Josh Hall and, oh, there we see Cody Moore taking it to the high side. Oh, we see Will Witt is around into the inside wall. Cody Moore is going to win the Alabama 125. Josh Hall takes second. Eddie Morris third. That just shows the power of the high side. Tough break for Will Witt and James Kunkel. Wow. What a race, and good decision there for Cody Moore to go up there to the high side. We're getting ready to see his burnouts. Cody Moore Nation on their feet here at Talladega Superspeedway. The whole crowd is on their feet getting ready for Cody Moore to do his burnout. Appreciate it, Rob. Long time no see, man. Appreciate you tuning in to watch the broadcast. So now we're waiting for your top three to get into the waiting room. We're going to do the interviews here. And we're seeing a demolition derby between Eddie Morris and Josh Hall on the front stretch after the race. We're waiting for your top three to get to the waiting room. There we go. We got your first place driver, Cody Moore, into the waiting room. We'll start off by pulling in your third place driver, Eddie Morris. Eddie, this is Atlanta broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how's it going, brother?
Going pretty good. And looks like it was going pretty good out there for yourself. I know you started in that 6th place spot, and you're running pretty good, running with, the Intensity Racing Team teammates. We saw you got into that little incident, and you were restarting 9th, I believe, but you were able to make your way back up to the field. And on that last restart, we saw you're up on the high side with Josh. You really couldn't get anything done, but then on the front stretch, we saw Cody Moore went up there to the high side with y'all, and y'all were able to get a good run. We saw the wreck on the bottom between James Kunkel and Will Witt, and that ended up securing you that 3rd place spot. What was your take on this race here at Talladega? I know it was a wild one.
It definitely was a wild one, man. I love these things, man. The restrictor plate races. especially Talladega. It's got so much room. It was pretty good race. It was pretty exciting. It was a blast, and I appreciate Nudie and everybody for putting it on.
Now, I know there was a little bit of strategy here tonight with fuel. I mean, what was you and your Intensity Racing Team teammates' strategy here tonight?
When we knew we could make it to the end, we went in, and like I said, whenever you pulled me in the during the race for that interview, we were good to go. Then we probably had it by maybe a half a lap. And we were pretty close, but we could have made it to the end if it would have went green from there on out. So, but unfortunately it didn't, and gas mileage come to play in it. And I don't know how much gas Will and Cody had, but man, their gas tank had to be begging for some more. But man, I was thinking Cody would have probably ran out, or Will would have kind of ran out on that last restart. Me and Josh were talking and just kind of keeping an eye out for that. And all in all, man, it was a good race, pretty exciting, and hopefully it was a good show for everybody watching.
It definitely was. There was a lot of crazy action. And before we let you go, Eddie, is there any sponsors or shout-outs before we let you go?
Just Intensity Broadcasting, the best broadcasters in the business.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to me, myself, and I at Morris Customs for the sweet Coctagon camping truck paints. Probably ought to start mentioning Coctagon camping too. Pretty good deal we got going on there, and yeah, man, everybody that lets me do this, I appreciate you guys, and just shout out to everybody that showed up and made this a fun race.
Yes, sir. Again, congratulations on that third place finish, Eddie. Have a great rest of your night.
Thanks, brother. You too.
No problem. All right. Let's now pull in your second place finisher. We got Josh Hall. Here we go. Josh, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
Got you loud and clear, Atman.
Awesome. Well, what a race for you tonight. I know it was quite a wild one. We saw you started in that 10th place spot. I mean, you were kind of running around mid-pack for a lot of this race, making some moves, especially on that high side. You're definitely making that high side work. We saw you led a little bit of the race, and then we saw you got into a little bit of an incident, and you were quickly able to make your way back up to the field. On that last restart, we know you were leading that high side. You had Eddie behind you, but you couldn't really quite get up there to Will. And then we saw Cody Moore jump out there with y'all. Saw the wreck on the bottom, and then you were able to get that second place spot behind Cody, pushing him to the win. I mean, what was your take on this race here, Josh?
Honestly, that was the most fun I've had in a long time. Got to hand it to these guys. That was a blast. Running with these guys door to door, a lot of pinching, and it was just exciting. I made some moves that might have been a little questionable towards the beginning of the race. I was a little aggressive, taking that 3 wide right on the start, but getting up to the front, doing what I had to do to be there. Had 2 bad pushes from teammates, which it happens. I'm not mad about it. I was able to rebound from it when D Wright got in the back of me, and then Eddie there set me on my roof. But at the end there, I mean, Cody jumped up in front of me. I wasn't lifting. I was being pushed by Eddie. I hate it for Will. I didn't mean to get into him, but got him a little sideways, and Kunkel finished him off there. But, man, I got to hand it to these guys. That was a lot of fun, us working together, us 3 guys, and being there at the end to finish second.
Now, we saw a couple of times you were able to get through some wrecks that almost looked unavoidable. What's the key to avoiding wrecks here at Talladega?
Closing your eyes. No, there's a couple of them. You're right. 2 of them I can remember. The one where both of them I jumped down to the apron. I just saw it happening, and I looked to my right, and I see the South Park car coming straight at me, and I just kind of whipped the wheel to the left and to the right to kind of Tokyo drift around it. And then that last one there, I actually saw it happen as it happened. I was able to just see it and get down to the apron to avoid it. So it's all about reflexes. You know, I always say super speedway racing is kind of like playing chess. You kind of got to look 3-4 moves ahead of you. And especially with, avoiding wrecks, you kind of have to see what's going on and kind of anticipate happening.
Got you. Well, once again, I mean, he did an awesome job avoiding a lot of the wrecks and made some really good moves. Is there any sponsors or shout-outs before we let you go, Josh?
Well, first and foremost, we got to shout out Intensity Broadcasting because they're on the car tonight. I always got to have a fast car with them. I want to thank you for announcing tonight. I want to thank Nudie for putting this thing on, Eddie and Dave for helping me out there, getting me through the wrecks, and being there, pushing there at the end. And man, I had a blast. That was really fun.
It was definitely a blast to watch up here as well. So again, congratulations on the runner-up finish, Josh. Have a great rest of your night.
You as well.
Thank you. And now let's pull in your winner from Cincinnati, Ohio, Cody Moore. Here we go. We got Cody Moore in the broadcast booth. Cody, do you have a copy?
I got that, man.
Awesome. Well, what a race for you. I know you started in that 7th place spot, but you were really hanging around the front for a lot of this race, working together with your YXU teammates, Isaiah, Brian, Will. Y'all are on a whole nother level compared to everybody else, just working together with each other. I know for a lot of the race, you were down low, pushing Will on the bottom, and that's where you were on that last lap, pushing Will. And then we saw in a last lap move, you jumped to the high side ahead of Josh, and you gave that high side momentum. So the wreck on the bottom with Will and James, and you were able to secure that victory with Josh pushing you to the win there. I mean, what was your take on this race here tonight, Cody?
I tell you, most of it was just surviving. I actually ended up finishing with a 0x, but man, I missed about 3 or 4 wrecks that should have taken me out probably. So I think that was most of the challenge in this race, was just avoiding the wrecks and staying safe. But yeah, my strategy was kind of set. I had I came in for fuel and tires, and then I topped off with 1 to go on, I don't know, it was like the lap 28 caution or something, or 18, I don't remember. But yeah, then I just saved fuel. I kind of just rode him back, and then once I had enough fuel with the cautions, I just told Will, I always like working with Will, so I told him I'll work with you here till the last lap, and he said 100%, and we did it, and it worked out well. It sucks he got wrecked there at the end, but yeah, it was good working with him.
Now, I mean, what do you think set you apart from the rest of the field here at Talladega?
Luck. I think just luck and not being overly aggressive. I made some real aggressive moves starting off, and I blocked kind of real aggressively at the very end too. But yeah, I was just trying to keep the truck in one piece and save fuel. I mean, I ran out coming to the line for my burnout, so I didn't have any fuel left in the truck.
Yeah, I was wondering why you weren't doing a burnout, so it looks like you came really close for fuel for you. So before we let you go, Cody, is there any sponsors or shout-outs before we let you go?
Tons. First, want to start out by thanking my beautiful wife, Maggie, my kids, my dad, who might be watching, my teammates. We didn't really have teammates for this race, but I always work with Will and Colin and Brian Nudie and Isaiah Gill. Thank you to Michael Folk for the paint job. He does a great job. I really like this 52 scheme I run in the trucks. Stephen Black, he does really good designs too. Check him out at Skylord Graphics. I know I'm forgetting someone. Logan, all my friends at the Logan and Cody show. It's been really bad lately. It's gonna get better, I think. We dropped below, like, I don't know, it was like 42 million listeners this week, so we're gonna hopefully get that going. I do want to thank everyone that listens. We have a special episode coming up this Saturday, and go UC Bearcats. Hopefully they can pull off the inevitable or the unbelievable win over the Alabama Crimson Tide. And again, thank you, Atlee.
Yeah, we definitely had fun doing the broadcast tonight, and how ironic that tonight's race is actually the Alabama 125 celebrating the state of Alabama and Talladega Superspeedway, and UC's playing Talladega tomorrow. I mean, what? Oh, I mean, UC's playing
Bama on Friday.
Bama, yes, on Friday.
But a Cincinnati guy won the Alabama race tonight. Maybe that's foreshadowing.
Potentially, we'll see. But again, congratulations on your win, Cody. Have a great rest of your night.
Thanks, Allie. Good job as always. See ya.
Yep. See ya. Well, that is going to do it here for the race tonight. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to watch the broadcast here on Intensity Broadcasting. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as it would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to reach our goals of 2,000 followers on Facebook, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube by our 2-year anniversary, which will be April of 2022. And I think we can reach those goals as a racing and iRacing community. Make sure to check out our Twitter, Intensity Broad 1. We're always dropping polls on there, and it's a fun time on there. We interact with our viewers, so check us out once again on Twitter. I'm Atlee @ManWeast, and on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Over